All right, how's everybody doing this afternoon? Welcome to another edition of our Data Talent Showcase, where we have three contestants tonight who are competing for that ultimate bragging rights of being the best presenter tonight. All right, so we had our Data Talent Showcase at the beginning of the month. All right, we have 5 contestants. The top 3 has moved on to the finalists. We have 3 judges tonight that are going to be voting on who they think is the best presenter in their project. Okay, so for the next hour and a half, okay, until 5:30 Central Time, we have you guys locked in. So here is the itinerary. I'm gonna do a small intro presentation, okay? And then I'm gonna introduce the judges, and then I'm gonna introduce the contestants, okay? And then the contestants are going to give their presentation. Once they've given their presentation, we're gonna do a Q&A with the judges. We're gonna launch a poll where, yes, you get to vote on your top person, okay? Not, oh, I like 2 people. No, your top person. You're going to get the vote, okay? Then we're going to show the judges' results, and then we're going to show the poll results to see if the community agrees with the judges, okay? And then we're going to be thanking the judges, and we're out of this thing. That is our hour and a half. So I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. We're going to take this world of data and we're going to tell the story on it. And you guys are going to be so excited to hear these presentations. All right, Colaberry, work of the future solver. We have 2 programs here at Colaberry, all right? And our goal is to turn people into data scientists. So we have one program designed to take someone with no experience and get them a job in the field of data analytics. And then from there, we have another program that takes you from data analytics to data science. And we create skills and we help people with skills such as programming and visualization. And what you'll see a lot tonight is the communication and storytelling, okay? Now, what is data analytics? It is a scientific process of transforming data into insight for better decisions, offering new opportunities for a competitive advantage, all right? Some call data science the sexiest job of the 21st century, okay? Some just call it the best, but some call it the sexiest though, you know? So it is popping. Everybody knows that data is our future. AI is on the horizon. And so that's what Colaberry is about creating talent. What we do is we take people and through 1 year of experience, we get them equivalent to someone with about 3 to 5 years experience in the field. We use AI to kind of basically fast forward the learning process, okay? And so with that, we're creating quality talent that companies need because data is omnipresent. Okay, data is everything. Data is our future. So Colaberry is different in the demographic that we serve. If you look at our demographic, you see 40% of our students are female, okay? And the amount of females that are in the field is much lower than that. You see 78% Black, 34% have no degree. Okay, we're looking at people in the realm of 30 to 40-year-olds who've already capitalized on their career, but they're looking to switch industries into the data analytics industry. And you can see that 75% of our students have no experience in the field. Now, 50% of companies have adopted AI in at least one business function. 85% of companies are adapting big data and data analytics technologies, and 96% of companies are planning to hire permanent staff in data analytics related roles. So what Colaberry does is we do training, we also do consulting, we provide diverse talent to companies, and we help upskill workforces. All of our candidates can be seen on our website, hire.refactor, where they will build a bio, they'll showcase their projects, and they'll showcase all of their skills that they have learned throughout this journey. And so if you're like Amazon and Walmart, you want to partner with Colaberry, and let's figure out how we can change the game and then be able to provide good data jobs to people that are working hard and ready to lead this new data evolution. So that is my small presentation. Now we are going to move on and we're going to introduce our judges tonight. First up, we have Kevin Taylor. Kevin Taylor, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
I will tell you a little bit about myself. Ali, first of all, thank you for the introduction and the energy. I go by KT here at work, friends and family. There's too many Kevins in the world. But I started data and analytics so long ago. I had hair when I started, 20 plus years in the space. I'm mostly a storyteller. I think my skills are in the last mile. A lot of the data visualization, the dashboards you see, the exploratory data. I imagine everybody on this call could run circles around me when it comes to coding. So I can't wait to see the things y'all do. But man, I'm honored to be on here, and I love the mission, love the energy, and just thanks for having me.
Kevin, we appreciate it. Can you tell the crowd how important storytelling is in the job? Can you give us a little bit of insight on that?
Oh, it is incredibly, I mean, data science without storytelling is just a bunch of information being held somewhere in a corner, right? We need to take action off of it. One thing I'll say about data, especially as you move into different places in the workforce, as you're coming into the workforce or as you're moving up in the workforce, the power of data and to be able to tell a story with data changes the influence you can have on individuals. When you just tell somebody something, that's just hearsay. When you show it to them in data, it's hard to ignore. So I think it's just absolutely paramount when you want to take action on any of the data you have.
That is fantastic advice, Kevin. We appreciate you. Christian De La Cruz, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. And again, thank you for the energy, Ali. If you're not professionally hosting events outside of this, you absolutely should.
I professionally host events for Colaberry. This is my passion. This is what drives me. This is what I wake up every day to do. So all my energy is for Colaberry.
It shows. That's amazing. So yeah, I'm Chris, New York City. I actually haven't been in data analytics for a very long time, about 3 years. I've actually worked in a couple of different industries. I've been an actor for 10 years. I did used to work in hospitality management before I made an industry switch right before the pandemic. But I have a lot of passion for data, a lot of passion for helping out people however I can. Also a lot of experience with dashboards and kind of excited to see what everyone has put together here, machine learning. And yeah, as mentioned before, storytelling's huge. If the data doesn't make sense to anyone, you have to be able to translate it to viable information that people can take away from it, because they're not all going through Colaberry to get a year's worth of data analytics information. They need to know the nutshell of what you've found within the span of a few minutes, which may have found you a few hours to do. So storytelling is a very underrated talent in data.
All right, I couldn't have said it better myself. Next up, we have Dr. Lori Hoffman. Doctor, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
So thank you, and I will agree on the energy, and I will definitely agree on the storytelling part of data. I've been doing data and reporting for probably since Kevin had hair or KT had hair, and then I've been doing it a long time. I think I started building Access databases when Access was brand new. So that's how old I am doing this stuff. And I will say the questions I get from leaders every time I present a dashboard is, so what, now what? You know, if you can think about those two questions, it'll kind of stop you in your tracks. I do a lot of change work, and data creates a lot of awareness, but you really want to get to that desire part. Like, what's the desire for the change? What change are you promoting? So I am so excited to be here.
Awesome. And we're excited to have you, Lori. Thank you, Lori, Christopher, Kevin. All right, those are our judges. So you heard from our judges tonight. We got some pretty talented people that's been in the industry who can give us great feedback. Now we're gonna switch the energy to our contestants tonight. We got 3 contestants tonight that are gonna be battling. Listen, they are fighting for $100 gift card. Okay, they're gonna get $100 gift card to Amazon. Y'all know, listen, we buy everything on Amazon, right? So $100 gift card to Amazon, that's pretty much cash, okay? Let's just be real, that's pretty much cash, okay? And so but the biggest thing that they're gonna get tonight is bragging rights. They're gonna be able to go to the other students and say, listen, I won the Data Talent Showcase, okay? And so that is what we have up for grabs tonight. We're going to go to our first contestant, Nalima. Nalima, what are you going to present for us this afternoon?
I'm going to present my dashboard on US honey sales from 1991 to 2021.
Listen, I don't know what it is about honey sales, but ever since her project has gone on to the Colaberry network, which is where we keep our repository of projects, we make sure that the top projects, the projects that are most clicked on, they head to the top, okay? They're on the top page. We got like 5 pages worth of projects. Somehow, US Honey has navigated to the first page and she just finished the project, okay? So listen, I'm not trying, I'm just letting you know what the facts are, okay? Her project must be interesting because it's receiving a lot of clout on Colaberry Network. I'm just saying that. Now, someone else's project who's been rising up the ranks, Laundry, what are you going to be presenting for us this afternoon?
Thank you, Ali. I'll be presenting my project on Montreal crime data for the period between 2015 to 2020.
Montreal, have you lived in Montreal before?
Yes, Montreal is my city. This is where I live.
Oh, that's your stomping ground, huh? Okay. So he know a little bit about Montreal. You asked me, I don't know anything about Montreal. If you pointed to a map, I wouldn't be able to tell you where it is, but that's all good. Laundry knows it. So
don't worry, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Montreal this evening.
Okay. Is that an invite? Okay. don't spoil me with a good time. Okay, I'll definitely take you up on that. All right, and then last but not least, we have Meg Delaware. What are you going to be presenting for us this evening?
Okay, hello everyone. Today I'll be presenting my dashboard on insurance fraud in India from January to March 2015.
Are you from India?
No, actually I'm from Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. So what made you wanted to do a project on insurance fraud in India?
Actually, I was looking for a data, something similar to auto insurance fraud, but the only data set that I can find is in India. So I guess I was just left with that data set.
Okay. Well, we're happy to see what you got going on. All right. So you guys hear it. We have 3 candidates tonight that are going to be presenting for us some awesome projects. We got US honey sales, we got Montreal crime data, and we got insurance fraud in India. So with that being said, let's get this thing started. But y'all know, before we can get things started, we got to get the vibe right, okay? We got, listen, everybody here is nervous, okay? We got a lot of people on the call, and, trying to present in front of people is a task, okay? Especially in front of these top folks that's been in the industry for years, okay? Like Kevin, Chris, Lori, I know y'all mean no harm, but everybody's nervous because you guys are in the building, okay? This is Colaberry family. We used to each other, but y'all in the building creates an extra vibe for us, so you should feel extra special, okay? That you up in the intensity of what we got going on tonight. So I'm gonna play a little bit of music for about 30 seconds. And then when I take myself off of mute, or when I close out the music, Nalima is gonna be all yours.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls. with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon.
Hello, everyone. A very good evening. My name is Nilima, and today I'm here to talk about my project. As a child, I was always been fascinated towards agriculture. Back home in India, where agriculture is a primary income for many people around me, I often used to come across conversations like, we are not able to sell the crop, or the price was too low for this year. I always wondered, why don't they get good price? Growing up, I thought, what if farmers can predict how coming year is going to be like? It is great that now we can determine which crops are most profitable to grow with the data analytics and tools in place. This information can help them make informed decisions about what to plant each season and lending to increase profits and more sustainable farming practices. My topic today is not a crop, but something related to agriculture. This data is going to help beekeepers to provide insights and plan accordingly. I'm here to present my project, US Honey Sales 1995 to 2021. Let me give a brief introduction about my project. American consumers choose honey for a variety of reasons. Maybe because of its health benefits, unique flavor, and connection with the honeybees and environment. There is a saying, honey never goes bad. And if stored properly, the honey can last indefinite period of time. And that is going to be a greatest advantage to the farmers. The United States is the second largest producer of honey behind China. According to the latest data available, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization in 2019 said like the honey consumption is increasing year over year, every year. So my main purpose of this project is United States Department of Agriculture in recent article stated that the US honey was consumed like almost close to 618 billion pounds in 2021, which was like 596 million pounds in 2017. Between 91 and 2021, the average rate of growth is 10.7 million pounds per year. So you can see the demand for honey is increasing every year. And my project is mainly focused on seeing how the sales have been in past years and how it's increasing year over year. And coming to my project, once I decided on the project I want to do, and I was able to get my data set, I started working and looking for the agriculture KPIs because I don't know much about what KPIs are important for agriculture. So when I started determining my agriculture KPIs, I decided on my 4 KPIs because profit and sales and profit is very important for any business, and agriculture is not an exemption. So I ended up with total sales year over year, gross profit margin percentage, and gross profit margin percentage year over year. Once I was able to identify my KPIs, I started working with my project. I started doing my calendar table to do time data analysis and did the measures needed for my project and did the calculated columns and calculated measures. And once my data set is ready for the project, this is how my final dashboard looks like. And if you can see, I have utilized 2 slices and the 4 KPIs and 4 charts. The KPIs tells most of the story, but not everything. So I was utilizing these 4 charts, which will help us to understand the data better and give insights to the honey beekeepers to understand the market and invest more in the business. So if you see these slices, you can actually slice data by years. And the second slicer here, it's going, if you want to see the data for a particular state, you can go and click on the state and it's going to show you the data regarding that particular state. So if you go to my first chart here is line and column cluster chart. It is showing the years, all the years data, the total sales for each year from 95 to 2021. And also this axis we're showing sales year over year, gross profit margin, and gross profit margin year over year. And if you go to my second chart, this is also a line and clustered column chart. Here I tried putting all my states into regions. So if a beekeeper want to go and see how the states in his region are doing, he can go and drill down and he can see the states in his region, and then he can go and see the state which he belongs to, and he can see how the sales and profits for his region is happening. So if you go back to my third chart here, I'm utilizing a shape map. If the beekeeper belongs to a particular state and he just want to know information of his own state, he can just go and click on his own state and he can get the information. If you can see the legend color, you see the darkest being the highest sales and the lightest being the lowest sales. And these white states are those states which are not participating in honey production. And coming to my last chart, the scattered plot, if you see the bubbles here, these represent the sales. If the size of the bubble is larger, the sales of that state is more. If I click on North Dakota, you can see the sales were like 6.57% sales year over year. And also if you see the color, this color determines the gross profit margin percentage. If the color is darker, you have more gross profit margin. If I go and click on South Dakota, you can see the gross profit margin is 75.77%. So these are the 4 charts I utilized. And the beekeepers can actually get more data and more insights based on this dashboard, on this report. For example, if he wants to know, like in a particular year, 2002, the sales year over year is 107.87%. When comparing that with previous year, 2001, it's only 2.76% increase in growth. And in the same way, if you want to go and see the least like sales year over year for particular state, say Texas, for Texas, it is like minus 39.35%. When I compare that with previous years, 2003 and 2002, you can see it was only, it was a minus like 39.35%. And also you can see mostly all the regions, they're having sales year over year increase every year, but the gross profit margin is negative for almost all the regions. So they were able to make good profit, like gross profit margin, but when they're comparing year over year, actually most of the regions are in like negative. So these are the some insights, and they can even know like which state is producing the highest sales or which state is getting the highest profits, and they can draw more insights needed for them. Though there are many challenges in this bookkeeping business, still the farmers are making good profit. And you can see the in US, like in 2021, between 2021 and 2022, the exports were 30.8%, and the imports were only 12.9%. Though the percentage was increasing, if you see in numbers, you can still see that the country is importing a lot of honey from other countries, and you can see the demand for this product. And beekeepers can invest more and actually get more profits, and also try to get more sales. So coming to the suggestions, so if you can buy local honey, always go for it. It's because you're kind of encouraging your local honey beekeepers. And out of every 3 bites of food you take, at least 1 bite of the food is pollinated by bees. So when you are trying to buy a pesticide, make sure like you buy a pesticide for your lawn, which is not killing the bees. And the most important suggestion is about insulation, because like when the winter is too hard in some states, you can see every year the bees are, by the time the winter is done and they enter into spring, 30,000 to 40,000 bees are dying every year, which actually is a lot, and they need to invest more on getting back these colonies. So they're losing their profits here. So there are many techniques which are provided to the beekeepers. If they can go and research and see why they're not able to make profits, they can increase their profits. And US already banned 12 products containing these pesticides which are killing honeybees. Hopefully they're going to work faster, and they can 47 more products which are not good for the bees. And I hope I presented my project well, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
All right, everybody take yourselves off of mute and give Nalima a woo, woo. All right, fantastic. Kevin, what's your feedback?
Oh, first of all, I just love the topic on honey. It was interesting getting into the import exports, because one of the great things about honey is the localized aspect of honey. I guess it's like the bees have their honey can help you with more of the germs and things going on in the air in your area. So I thought that was great. I love the color theme. It was so like you didn't even have to put honey on there. I knew it was talking about honey, like between the bees and the colors. Like you didn't have to add the word honey. So just a great job. I love the presentation as well. Very well done.
Thank you, Katie.
Awesome. Next up, Christian, what's your feedback?
So I think you're an excellent storyteller. I really took away from it the importance of honey in the industry and how important it is to have beekeepers, and kind of the decisions you were pushing for how we interact with beekeepers and honey, and kind of the things that we need to be doing for the future. In terms of things that definitely to keep in mind, I think for your future presentations that I think would help, you had one slide where I think I saw, it looked like a list of maybe Excel sheet formulas. I'm not 100% sure because we didn't stay on it too long. It was right before the dashboard. To me, it definitely makes sense because, again, we're data professionals too. But if you imagine if you're presenting this to someone who doesn't have a data background, that can be a little hard to follow and listen to you at the same time to try and comprehend. So when you can just say, hey, this is just the sum of this is just the average of this. And then one of the last slides, you had a number of paragraphs with some very important information that you were going over. I had a little bit of a hard time also trying to follow those paragraphs and listen to you at the same time. Definitely would be helpful to have a little more bite-sized information for people to grab onto, because we're going to be listening to you anyways. So you can kind of have that there for people to latch on to, as opposed to me trying to follow all these numbers coming out. But do not let any of that take away from the beautiful presentation you did. I loved your dashboard. It was a great dashboard, very easy to follow, very easy to use, painted the story beautifully. Those are definitely small points that I hope help you for your future presentations. Can't wait to see what you do with your future presentations. And yeah, congratulations. It was very creative.
Thank you, Christopher. Thank you for the suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Listen, Chris, we want you to give us critiques, okay? Because only through the critiques do we get better, right? So we appreciate the great feedback, okay? And so Nalima can take that and build off of that and do better. Dr. Hoffman, what's your feedback?
That was amazing. I totally agree. Your storytelling ability, your confidence when you're presenting, spot on. It was easy to follow. I didn't get lost. I kind of a global question for all of you, the students. How much does accessibility factor into how you build your dashboards? So there's some lines that you had graphs with lines. If you put like a square in one and X in one, and then people that maybe don't see color as much could maybe discern the lines a little differently. But that's just something to think about. I'm always thinking about accessibility and who can see what I'm trying to say. If I think about my feedback, if the audience is beekeepers for your dashboard, which I think is what I heard, I kept thinking, okay, so tell me what the difference is. You told me this area does better, that one does worse, but immediately I want to know why. Do they have more investments? Do they have more bees that don't die? So it was kind of merging the second page with the dashboard and maybe just putting some drill downs on those high and low points. Like maybe there's a natural disaster. And that's probably the next level to it, but that's where I went. And that's where I think a leader would go is great. How do I act? How does this inform the future? So that would be my only hopefully helpful information.
Thank you, Hopeman. I'll take that into consideration. Yeah.
Of course, that was helpful. Excellent. We always try to reach that next level. So we have our CEO on tonight, Mr. Ram Kadamarajan, and he would like to send a message out to the judges tonight. Ram, it's all yours.
Hello. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Christopher, coming in today. It's an honor for us, and it's great to see you guys with all the energy, smiles, like when you are watching the presentations, and it makes our day because most of the students, like Ali was saying, have never seen technology before they come to our program, and in less than a year, you are seeing the magic, right? It takes a lot. It takes a lot to get to like what you are seeing, and it takes a lot from us and from the students, right? So we are trying to like just change the game for the people, and our North Star is how can we empower people in such a way so that we can break the cycle of poverty, right? So that motivates us, and we want to reach 100,000 people. A long way to go, a big ambitious number, but we made a lot of progress, and we are continuing to make progress. And we are extremely happy and thankful that you are here today and judging and giving feedback to our students and being part of our journey. Thank you.
All right, well said. So let's go ahead and keep this thing. Let's keep this thing going. All right, listen, that first presentation, I don't know about y'all, but I was pretty impressed, okay? For somebody coming in the field, not knowing anything, going through this journey, and then spitting out the facts like that, I don't know. I was pretty impressed. Let's see where we can go from here. All right, next up, we got Laundry.
She just wants a life for a baby. All on her own, no one will come. She's got to save him. Daily struggle. She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lukman Lanre Ojurumbe. I'm a Power BI developer. I'm excited to present my project, Montreal Crime Data 2015 to 2020 to you. Happy listening. Let me start by telling you a little bit about Montreal. Montreal is a vibrant city located in the province of Quebec, Canada. It is known for its rich history, multiculturalism, and stunning architecture. With its French influence and European charm, Montreal is often referred to as the Paris of the North America. The city boasts of a thriving arts and culture scene, world-renowned cuisine, and a bustling economy, making it a top destination for visitors and locals alike. From its historic landmark to its bustling festival, Montreal is a city that never failed to impress. However, despite the Montreal reputation as a safe city, recent events have threatened to shatter that perception. The number of car thefts in the city jumped last year, and some models like the Honda CR-V have become frequent targets. For the second year in a row, the Japanese manufacturer SUV has been the most stolen vehicle in Quebec, according to the 2021 ranking of Equity Association, an organization that helps ensure counter theft and fraud. In 2021, Montreal police counted 6,572 vehicle thefts in the city, an increase of 37% compared to the previous year. Again, welcome to my presentation on Montreal Crime Data 2015 to 2020. In this presentation, I will provide a comprehensive analysis of the city reported crime, tracking their evolution over time from 2015 to 2020. The journey to this project started on this warm summer evening. John and his loved one gathered to celebrate his mom's 60th birthday. The atmosphere was filled with excitement and anticipation as they prepared to surprise her with a special cake. The music was upbeat, everyone was singing and dancing, enjoying the moment. And just as they want to unveil the cake, the unexpected happened. The door flung open and James stumbled in, tears streaming down his face like a broken dam. The once peaceful atmosphere now transformed into a chaotic scene as James sobbed uncontrollably. I can't find my car. I can't find my car. His distress was palpable, sending waves of unease and concern throughout the room. Others exchanged worried glances, their hearts sinking at the thought of their own car being gone. I told you I didn't want to come, James wailed, but you insisted. What am I going to tell Mary about her new car? The tension was thick and the anxiety hung heavily in the air as everyone scrambled to confirm their car was still parked where they left them. And just as anybody was able to say anything, John's mom made a phone call to the local councillor about the growing trend of car theft. And their conversation left us feeling helpless. But I refused to sit idly by and watch as our community was terrorized by criminals. I took it upon myself to find the data we needed to make a difference. As John dealt with the police to report the theft of his car, I spent countless hours scouring the internet and local police archive for any relevant information. It was a daunting task. I had no prior knowledge of where to find the data, but my drive to help my community kept me going. Finally, I struck gold. I had found the data that we needed to take action against the growing threat of the car theft. Armed with this information, I could make a compelling case to increase the police budget and take steps to prevent future crime. Immediately, I loaded this data set that I found into Power BI desktop. The first step I took in the Power BI was to prepare the data. I then cleaned and transformed the data to make it usable in Power BI. I removed any duplicates and missing value and irrelevant column, and I ensured that the data was consistent in format. This step is critical in ensuring that my analysis is accurate and the insights drawn from the data are reliable. Next, I built a data model that will allow me to analyze the data and find insights. I used Power BI built-in tool to create relationship between the different tables of the data. In my analysis, I decided to use year over year as a KPI, which allowed me to measure the trend in criminal activity over time. I created year over year measure for different crime categories, and I used a variety of charts and maps to visualize the data. I am excited to share with you the finding of my analysis on crime trend in Montreal. As you know, crime is a complex issue that affects us all, and understanding its pattern is crucial for developing effective prevention strategy. So in this data, this is my final dashboard. I use a combination of KPI cards, line and cluster column charts, waterfall chart, and map to visualize the data so that I can quickly identify trends and patterns. In this data set, there are 126 reported crime that is reported within this time frame of 2015 and 2020, of which 32% is home invasion, which translates into 42,000 crime if the reported information. 26% of it is theft in motor vehicle, 23%, which translates to 29,000, is mischief, and the last but not the least is the offenses resulting in death, which contributes about 0.1%. For the crime by year, the line and cluster column chart, the height of the column indicates the total number of crimes reported for that year, which is also similar to the crime by city, which uses the same line and cluster column chart. But however, in crime by city, the height indicates the total reported crime for that city. So here on the crime by city, the city are grouped into cardinals: south, west, east, and north, and with the functionality to drill down into the individual city that make up the city. So next is the drivers of crime. This is a waterfall chart that shows the contribution of individual crime category towards the overall total crime for say particular year, for instance. So say for instance, I move to another year, you can see the drivers of crime are changing based on their individual contribution towards the overall crime for that particular year. Likewise, it's the same for crime by city. Just a minute, I would like to, sorry about that. Let me use my Power BI desktop. I would like to stop sharing and use another. So this is what I was showing the other time, that these drivers of crime shows the contribution of each individual crime categories towards the overall crime for say particular year. As you can see, this keeps changing. If you move to another year, with each crime category having different number. So that also goes the same thing with that of the crime by city too. If you click by the city, say for instance, Montreal South, we can see the different drivers of crime that make the overall crime rate for that particular city. That being said, the last one is the crime by location, which is a map. This map shows the crime by location with the individual bubble showing the size of the crime that is reported from that area, with the bubble that has red color showing area with more than 5,000 reported cases, while those with light green are area with less than 1,000 reported cases. So overall, the data show a decline. As you can see here, overall, we have a decline in all the crime from 2015 down to 2020. As you can see from the height of the individual column here, you can see. Let me try to bring it out. It looks to be bring it to focus. We can see the height is gradually decreasing. That shows that there is a decline in overall crime from year 2015 down to 2020. But I'll go back, and with the overall year-over-year crime showing it ranges between 3 point. We are checking this crime year-over-year is ranging from negative 3.4% to an height to the maximum, which is in 2018, which is negative 14. So this is the height of the year-over-year crime rate. This is how it was reduced, but the overall crime reduction is 5.9, and this is thanks to the reduction in home invasion and confirmed theft. These are the major drivers that contributed towards the reduction in this overall crime year-over-year for the city. So now what did I find? So what did I find inside this data? So I would like to maximize this again, put it in the focus. I would like to look at the individual crime category one by one. Number one is the confirmed theft. Confirmed theft, this is confirmed theft, this is confirmed theft. Confirmed theft year-over-year decline in 2 out of the 6 years with a maximum decline of 19%. It declined here, we have a decline here, this is negative 10, and we have a maximum decline here of 19%. However, in 2019, this confirmed theft increased by 8% in 2019. Then next is home invasion. As you can see from here, this is home invasion line. Home invasion declined for 3 consecutive years with a climax of negative 20 in 2018. After that, there is a slight increase in 2018 before it began to come down again. Then the next categories of crime that I'll be talking about is the mischief. Mischief is here. Mischief has a consistent decline throughout all the year. If you look at it, the line is all negative. It's all negative. This is -2. This is negative throughout. It's been negative throughout. So next is the motor vehicle theft. Motor vehicle theft has a maximum decline. This is motor vehicle theft, as you can see from the screen. It has a maximum decline of 13% in 2018, and ever since that time, it's been on the rise. I believe this should be a thing of worry for the city, because this is actually what Mr. Arnold needs in order to be able to defend his case before the city. As you can see, it is pretty clear that there is a clear pattern that since 2018 is been on the rise. So next is the offenses resulting in death. For these offenses resulting in death, this is offenses resulting in death. The only significant increase is in 2018. As you can see here, is by 11.8%. Other than that, every other year is been increasing. It's been increasing here, and if you see here, there is no difference at all. And here too, it's been on the increase. It's been reducing also. So last but not the least is the theft in motor vehicle. Theft in motor vehicle. This is theft in motor vehicle. It's been consistently decreasing throughout all the year. As you can see, theft is been showing negative. It's showing negative. This is negative. This is negative. Throughout, it's been negative. So these are all the analysis that I put forward that I believe is going to help Mr. Arnold to be able to navigate back and be able to defend his budget request for police before his colleague. Okay, so I summarize the major insights coming out from the analysis that I make. The major positive insight that I got is this home invasion that I showed before, that has negative 20% decrease. And I want to believe whatever the city did in this year 2018, they should be able to replicate it so that they can continue to decrease the home invasion further and all other crime categories. However, there is an alarm of 16.4% of the motor vehicle theft that keep rising. They need to stem the trend, or else it might get out of hand. So 2 days later, I stood nervously in front of Mrs. Rice. I couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment mixed with anxiety. I had poured countless hours into analyzing crime data and making recommendations to improve the safety of our community. As Mrs. Rice invited Mr. Arnold over to her house, my heart felt raised with anticipation of what to come. As I presented my report to Mr. Arnold, I could see his eyes widen with surprise and interest. He asked thoughtful questions, and I could tell he was taking the information seriously. As I made suggestions based on the data, I felt a sense of confidence knowing that the insight could make a difference in our city. 2 days later, Mr. Arnold presented the finding on the floor of the house, and I could feel the tension in the room as he shared the shocking statistics. But as he spoke, I could sense a shift in the room as his colleagues started to see the value of the data and the urgency of taking action. In the end, the power of data prevailed. The police budget was increased, and meaningful steps were taken to reduce crime in our city. And as a bonus, James was gifted with a brand new car, thanks to the data being shared with the insurance company. Looking back, I realized that my journey showed the importance of data in driving positive change in society. And with the Power BI, I was able to turn raw data into meaningful insight that made real difference in our community. It just goes to show that with determination and right to, anyone can make a difference. This brings to the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
All right, everybody take yourselves off of mute and give them a woo, woo. All right, Kevin, give us your feedback.
Yeah, so first of all, on the storytelling, you might have a future at Disney. Something you did at the very beginning was you put me right there. I've never been to Montreal. You put me in Montreal. You said something about, I can't find my car. I can't find my car. I felt myself like the heartbeat was going up a little bit. So you put me there, which I think is just something I don't see a lot in data. That part of the storytelling was incredible. One thing I would suggest, and Nalima, this might be feedback on yours as well, the busy bar line charts, my brain doesn't operate very fast. When I see more than one thing on a chart, it slows down my analysis. The only time I tend to use a bar and a line together is when the axes are synced, meaning both sides, your bar. The 0% was like in the middle of the chart, which my brain was like trying to get that and be comfortable with it, but it never let me. So that's just one piece of feedback. It's a habit that I see the most seasoned people do in dashboarding too. It's very, you got a canvas, limited canvas. Okay, I'll put 3 or 4 metrics on this, but it can take away from the story a little bit. So I think that was some of the big feedback. One little thing that I've gotten feedback on, I wear these glasses when I'm talking to people. I wear glasses just like yours when I'm at my computer, though, that have that reflective lens. I can't see your eyes with the reflective lens, and that's feedback I got. But other than that, like some of the challenges you ran into with the presentation, I present Sigma and demo it every day to prospects. I run into those same things. Just be like, you handled them really well too. I thought you were able to keep going when you got a little jitter or when something didn't go quite right. Every single day, something goes wrong for me when I'm presenting. So really good job there.
Great feedback, Kevin. Christopher.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, I really agree with Kevin. As a presenter, I think one of the parts of it that really caught my attention is when you started doing the voices, taking on the characters, talking about your struggles with finding the data. It was very TED Talk-esque, which I guess it depends on your audience, but I was just like, oh yeah, it's kind of like a TED Talk. That's very cool. So you have a good presenter, and I did like the way your dashboard was organized and told a story. Some things you might find helpful for your future presentations. I don't know that stock images necessarily tell the story as well as when you were giving us statistics on crime on Montreal before you got to your dashboard. That's a really good opportunity to have visualizations that show that, like a line graph, for example, of like crime in Montreal in the past 10 years has been doing such and such. And that's a good way for us to grasp that story as you're telling it to us. One thing that's a very small note, and this is kind of for everyone too, I'd say be very careful when you're using the colors red and green, because we always associate green with things going up and improving and red with things going down and getting worse, and you had it flipped. And I think that was something my brain did struggle to continuously remind myself of during the presentation. Outside of that, yeah, things go wrong when I'm presenting dashboards too. Feel free, and this is my style, again, do what works best for you. Feel free to drop a joke in there. I had a dashboard earlier today that was taking a long time to load, and I quickly told my client a story about how I hiked a mountain and they had a sign saying don't touch the cows, and I knew that sign was for me. And then the dashboard loaded up and I was like, all right, let's get back to the dashboard. But yeah, it was like we had a quick laugh about it and we were able to jump back into the presentation nice and warm. You don't have, like, when you have those moments, you don't have to, you don't have to just stick to that. You can go off script a little bit, and then when it, like, people know it happens, once it loads up, you can jump back in and just go with the flow. But otherwise, again, fantastic presentation. You have a great tone. I really liked the dashboard, and I can't wait to see what you bring back at a later presentation.
All right, wonderful feedback, Christopher. Thank you very much. Dr. Hoffman.
I don't know if it's good to go last in this judging scenario or first. So
I make the best of it.
I will echo both Katie and Christopher's comments on the storytelling, on the way you set the stage for what you were going to present. I think that's incredible, and you didn't rush that. I think sometimes I've been known to kind of assume that people know where I'm going, and I leave out parts of the story, and so I present the data, and then they're like, I don't know where to put this. So you did a great job giving me a foundation. Two things in just when you're talking, your data modeling comments, data modeling and transposing data is a constant struggle when you do data stuff. So I appreciate that you talked about that, and translating data, even dates sometimes can be a pain. And then drive to help my community kept me going. You mentioned that. And I think anyone that works in data has to have a passion around answering questions, because you can get bogged down pretty quick. So I love that you made that connection. I think the arrow comment, same thing. I think you were trying to show a positive decrease with the arrows. And so that it took me a while to kind of stare at that and go, okay, which way, why, what is he showing me? I think the other thing that I got a little hung up on is the line and the shading. You had the crime like by year and then the type of crime, and it was a lot of information, and the shading kind of threw me a little bit. And then at 1 year, your top line was above your column. So it was just, I was trying to figure out, what are you trying to show me? And it was a lot of data on each graph. And I think if your goal is to show theft, then show theft first, and then give me all the other stuff later. Like, give me a filter that I can show, I can add in, but give me one story first, I think would have helped me track and not have to sort everything quickly. Overall, great. It's a lot of data. It gets hard to present it all. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Lori. Appreciate it.
All right. Awesome feedback, Lori. Thank you very much. Okay, we got our last contestant up. And before we get to Meg Delawit, we're going to get our vibe right. Okay.
Yeah. Rihanna. Good girl going bad. Take 3. Action. No clouds in my stones. Let it rain. I hydroplane in the bank. Coming down like a Dow Jones. When the clouds come, we gone. We Rockefellers. We fly higher than weather. And cheap vibes are better. You know me. In anticipation for precipitation. Stack chips with a rainy day. Jay. Rain Man is back. With Little Miss Sunshine. Rihanna, where you at?
You have my heart, and we'll never be worlds apart.
Let me ask you a very simple question. Do you want to know a way to make good money? When I say good, really good money. If so, hear me out. I assume everyone here have an auto insurance. Not just insurance, but full coverage. Yeah? Great. The first thing you would do is drive into each other's car and receive settlements by claiming you lost control of your vehicle because you spilled hot coffee on yourself. What do you think? Too much? If you think that's bold, I have another one. Bear with me. You can drive in front of another car and suddenly you put on your brake and make sure you give the victim little time to react. If this doesn't sound good too, I have a better one. Set your car on fire and say, oh, that was an accident. How does that sound? Good, right? But what if it is the other way around? You are the victim and they are the criminal. Good afternoon. My name is Meg Delawit. I'm a Power BI developer. Today, I will be presenting you my dashboard in India, insurance in India from January till March 2015. And I got the data set from Kaggle.com. So India is one of the biggest markets for insurance companies across the world. However, it also needs to be understood that operating an insurance business in India is not free from risk. This is because insurance companies in India face an abnormally large number of fraud cases. In fact, it is estimated that the Indian insurance industry loses close to 6 billion to insurance fraud. This works out to be about 8.5% of all the premiums collected every year. So the primary objective of this project is to show a breakdown of auto insurance fraud per claim reported and analyzed throughout the given period, based on percentage of week over week claim fraud. The insight creates a better approach by finding a solution that needs to be taken in order to prevent these frauds from continuing. So here I've got 10 KPIs, total number of claims, which consists of both fraud and non-fraud, claim per day, claim week over week percentage, total number of fraud. This shows the total number of fraud reported from the total claim, fraud percentage, and this one is trying to show the total claim that is reported fraud, daily fraud, fraud week over week percentage, total number of claim amount, average claim amount, and claim amount week over week percentage. To make a better analysis of my data, I have added a calendar table to my data model so I could show the change or the variations of fraudulent activity dynamically. While working on this project, I have faced some challenges, like the biggest challenge was that the claim and the fraud month-over-month KPI, which was originally included in the dashboard, did not reflect any significant variation throughout the months. This is due to limited data availability. The dataset only covers for 3 months, which is January, February, and March. And for March, I only had like 14 days of data, and it makes it very difficult to show a fair comparison of different dimensions used in the dashboard as it's analyzed for the month of March. While working on this project, I also encountered some other difficulties on like creating calculated columns on my weeks. This is due to the short time period covered by the dataset. But despite this, I found it challenging according to the project. So I used a different DAX formula and finally be able to do the analysis on time series. And the last one is that the dashboard did not have any location data, and it didn't give me a better analysis, since I used a scatter plot just to show the fraud by occupations. But if it was like giving me a better, like more than 3 months data time, it would have been better for me to use the map and be able to show the locations. So now this is my insurance fraud in India dashboard. Like I said earlier, I've got 10 KPIs on the left side of the dashboard, but the KPI by themselves do not tell a story. So I designed and analyzed different charts in order to get a deeper understanding of the issue and what's going on. So here I've got 4 different charts, 3 line and stack column charts, and 1 scatter plot chart. At the top left, I have incident type as a column broken down by fraud and non-fraud, and the 3 lines that are showing the claims week over week, fraud week over week, and claim amount week over week variation. And then on the top right, I have analyzed the fraud and non-fraud based on the weeks for the reported period, and also used the 3 lines claim, fraud, and claim amount week over week variation. Bottom left is the fraud by occupation, and I used a scatter plot to analyze out of the total number of claim requested, which is the bubble size, how many is fraud per day reported, and what's the claim amount week over week variation for different occupations. The darker the color, the higher claim amount week over week is showing. And at the bottom right, fraud by age group, it shows the total claim requested and what percentage is showing fraud and non-fraud for the specific age group. And also shows the week over week variation for claim amount, and fraud week over week percentage. After analyzing my data, I have come up with some positive and negative insights. For the negative insights, between the week of February 8 till February 14, claimants aged between 26 and 35 with executive managerial occupations recorded 18 fraudulent claims out of the 32 daily claims, which shot the trajectory by 400%. Compared to the previous weeks, was decreased by 70%. Regardless of who they are or what position the auto insurance, criminals are motivated only by one thing. That is money. It's all about greed and taking what isn't rightfully theirs. On the contrary, for the positive insights, from January 25th to 31st, fraud from single vehicle collision incidents has shown a significant decrease in week-over-week fraud by 47.94%, whereas in the previous 2 weeks, week-over-week showed an average of 3.77% increase per week for the same dimension. So given those two positive and negative insights, I have come up with some suggestions for the end users. Number one is using technologies such as artificial intelligence and predictive analytics, as well as manual data processing, techniques and internal audit to detect and prevent fraudsters. And also we can see in our analysis that there's a significant amount of variation shown on the fraudulent action based on the age group. So I would suggest taking personal information such as zip code, driving record, and insurance history for the insurance providers before considering taking a client. Last but not least, I would suggest client to get dash cams and calling the police if accident happens to deter fraudsters. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. Be safe, drive smart.
Be safe, drive smart. Sounds like good advice to me. Kevin, what you got for us?
We got to do a woohoo here first.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Kevin, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Everybody take yourselves off of mute and give her a woo, woo.
Can I defer to the doctor to let her go first this time as a gentleman and chivalry is alive?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Dr. Hoffman, you were up first this time.
Oh man, I got kind of lazy there thinking I'm just going to say echo, echo, and then move on. I really like the way you opened it. It was a little uncomfortable, to tell you the truth, when you're like, "Is that good? Would you like to hit this person and get money?" So it kind of gave me like, okay, now I have to listen. Like this, she can't really be telling me I should commit fraud. So I kind of liked that because it demanded my attention coming into it. The slide that you had that had a lot of text that you kind of just read through it. If you're going to have a lot of text, just bold the highlights where you want me to see it. So just give me like the roadmap on that text. But if I don't want to read the whole thing, just give me some guideposts. For me, and part of this is just how I function with data. It was really hard when that kept changing. Like the graphs kept changing because I couldn't quite anchor myself on any one piece of data. So that's just something that if I knew the data really well, I could keep up. But for me, I just needed like one story. And I think that's true for everyone. I just give me one story. And then from there, I can move to other stories. Like, this is how you should look at the data based on one attribute. So that was a little bit harder for me to keep when I was looking at all your graphs. What story are you trying to tell me? On your insights, the only thing I would say, and I agree that your data tells me age is a factor, but when you talk about predictive analytics, that's where bias can sometimes come in. So it's just how you're going to just kind of throw it out there. Bias also then gets introduced. So I really like the suggestions about dash cams and calling the police, because I felt like those are more behaviors people can control rather than saying people in this age group might be problematic. Overall, great job. It's hard when you don't have a lot of data to make some story work for you. So really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.
Awesome. Thank you. Christopher.
I totally see what you mean now, Lori. When you're not going first, you're like, oh man, she said a lot of the things I was going to say. But no, you were a fantastic presenter. Really enjoyed it. I really liked that you used visualizations to tell the story of your data and how you got it and what worked and what didn't work. Really helped me follow with what was going on. Very, very kind of creative. The one note I will add on into the dashboard aesthetics and creation. I don't know if it was the white background, but there was no clear, like the widgets didn't have clear distinctions, and there was points where axes and legends were almost colliding, and that made it harder for me to follow what was already a very busy dashboard. So I would recommend some way to just have them a little more distinct from each other. But outside of that, definitely echo everything Lori said. And yeah, fantastic presentation. Loved it.
Thank you.
Hey, Kevin.
First of all, I love following Christopher because I get to piggyback his good ideas. That what you just talked about there, just look up Gestalt principles. It's like the use of white space. How do I separate things, group things, all that good stuff. It's really useful for data. Couple really quick things. 2 months is so hard to work with. I would cut that third month out, that partial month out every time, because you saw how it really distorted the metrics. So get rid of that, the partial months. Always try to find more data. I know it's tricky out there. The generic charts, so Christopher talked about this in an earlier one. You showed me the 10 metrics and I was like, wow, all 10 metrics are headed the same direction. And then I realized, oh, that was just like a template. And then the last thing I'll say, I have a very bad habit of moving my mouse around on the screen when I'm talking and it's distracting. You were trying to do something really hard and follow a GIF that was looping what you were doing. So there was 2 mice going around and I was literally, my brain was trying to follow 2 mice around the screen. It was a little distracting in that sense, but other than that, it was hiding a really good story that you were telling. So really good presentation and I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, you're following 2 mice around the screen. Imagine how the cats feel.
I was thinking about cats.
All right, awesome. All right, Kevin, my apologies. I didn't mean to.
No worries. You're doing amazing.
It's all good. All right, so next up we have our poll. So you need to vote for your top one. And then after our vote, we're going to see if the judges agree with the vote of the crowd. Okay, so go ahead, Jackie, pull up that poll. All right, get those votes in. It's about to get interesting, guys. All right, so before we go over the poll, we're gonna see what the judges scored. I'm looking at them right now and I'm trying to keep my poker face because I don't wanna lead you guys on to tell you who the winner is. Okay, so I got my poker face on. Y'all don't know who the winner is. Let me share my screen. All right, so we have Nalima with the total score of 8.6. Listen, this is out of 10, guys. 8.6 is pretty strong. She got a 7.7 on organization, 7.7 on neatness, 9.3 on presentation, 9.0 on originality and creativity, 9.3 on knowledge of material, for a total score of 8.6. Next up, we have Laundry, who has a 7.6 total score, 7.7 on organization, 7.0 on neatness, 6.7 on presentation, 8.3 on originality and creativity, 8.3 on knowledge of material. And keep in mind, these are the judges' scorecards, okay? They know what they're talking about. So last up, we have Magdala Witt with a 7.3, 6.7 on organization, 6.0 on neatness, 8.0 presentation, 7.3 originality and creativity, 8.7 on knowledge of material. And what we end up having is our winner, Nalima, with the U.S. honey sales. Now, this is what the people say, okay? This is what the people say. Now we got to figure out what the experienced judges are going to say, okay? So I'm closing this poll and we are going to share the results. And as you can see, the judges agreed with the crowd. Nalima is your winner. Nalima, $100 gift card to Amazon, which we already established earlier is basically cash. Okay. Lowry coming in second place, Meg Delaware in third. Meg Delaware.
Yes, Sally.
We all want to know, this is the 10th moment you present in front of a lot of people. Your presentation, how was this process for you?
Actually, it wasn't easy. It was so stressful with the things I have on my hand, doing the internship project and the personal project, getting ready for the interview and everything. It was overwhelming.
Absolutely. Listen, we apply pressure here at Colaberry, okay? Pressure makes diamonds, okay? So they are going through it, all right? Laundry, what has this process been like for you preparing for this presentation?
Actually, to be honest, it's not been easy. For the past 3 or 4 days now, I've been sick. I nearly called in this morning sick to tell Jackie I will not be able to attend this, but I just say I need to summon courage. You can see I'm coughing. It's not been easy combining sickness and trying to prepare for presentation. But overall, is a good experience for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Nalima, what's been your experience?
Thank you, everyone. It was stressful, but there was a lot of help from the community. Like everyone, when I was trying to build a dashboard for the first time with no IT experience, it was hard, but I got help and I was learning a lot through the process. And it was a great opportunity to present here. Thank you.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right, Kevin, give us your feedback. What did you think of the presentation? What do you think of what we're doing? We appreciate you coming on and being a judge. We know your time is precious. We can't afford to pay you what you're worth, okay? So give us some feedback on the event so we can definitely get better in the future.
Don't worry about paying me. Sal knows I'm rich with chicken eggs out here in North Carolina. I got 16 chickens, and that is the good thing to have when eggs cost so much and we eat so many. But I just was blown away.
Hold on, Kevin. I'm gonna stop you there.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed at how much eggs cost because I love eggs so much. Okay. I went to the store. Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I go on Walmart.com, okay, and they deliver it to my house. But I went on there and I looked at the egg prices and I was just like, oh my goodness. I envy you. Listen, I'm humbly bowing down to you because you got how many? 16 chickens?
16 chickens.
Oh my goodness. Okay, go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you
anymore. Great eggs too. And yeah, I won't hit you too much for that. So I was blown away. I didn't realize that until you said something about the 1 year. Like whatever y'all doing there, you're doing it right. That we came with some critiques and things like that. I've been doing this 20 years. You can find something to critique in every dashboard I ever built. So take the feedback, but know that you are light years ahead of people that are not going through a program like this. So just phenomenal work. The output was great. And yeah, I love the mission too. That's the other thing is being in this industry for 20 years. We are challenged with diversity. Is not a hidden thing, man. It's blatantly obvious. So this kind of stuff is absolutely critical. Love what you're doing. You're gonna see me again. This won't be the last one I jump on. So really well done.
And we will definitely love to have you back. All right. We got one more. Lori, what did you think? I'm interested.
I loved it. Like KT, I've been in this space a long time. I will say, as hard as this was to prepare for, this is like, at least in my experience, presenting to every leadership team I've ever presented to, because you think, I told a good story, I have some answers, and they always will say, well, you could have showed it this way. Well, what about this? So the struggle to get here and do this is real, and it continues. If you're going to be in this space, you give a good data, you give a good story, you feel really good for about 10 minutes, and then someone says, yeah, well, I don't agree. Or, but what about that? How come you didn't show this? So The process is the right process. It's the right thinking that this is not necessarily a quick and easy fix, but that's what makes it fun for me. I like answering questions and I like being challenged. So good job. And I appreciate the struggle sometimes to get your data going in the right way. I love it. And I hear a lot. I work in a lot of HR in big companies and a lot of, well, we can't find diverse talent. That's good. So this is the right program, and I will be happy to share it with my network because I was impressed. It's good stuff.
Thank you very much, Lori. Dr. Hoffman, as I should say. All right, go ahead, Christopher. My fault.
Yeah, what I'd love to offer is, I mean, one, every presentation was beautiful and great, and just a fantastic story. Just some of the best data presentations that I've actually enjoyed, and sat down here being like, oh, I'm enjoying learning this. One thing I'd love to offer, because I did hear themes of stress and worry and concern. Keep in mind that your emotions are your experience of the situation and not your identity. So you are still 3 people who put up really good presentations today. And even professional athletes for the rest of their careers have things they have to improve and work on, but they still get hired and trusted to get the job done because they're at a level where they'll get the job done. Even if they have stuff to continuously work on, you can exist in both worlds. You can have stuff to work on and still be at a level where you're trusted and can get that job done. So I saw presentations today that I was very excited to see, and I'm very excited to see what you 3 and everyone else goes on to accomplish in the world.
All right, awesome, Christopher. All right, guys, that concludes our event for this evening. This has been another Data Talent Showcase, but we're going to be here the last Thursday of every single month. Okay, every single month, we're going to be here on the last Thursday, same time, same place. We appreciate you coming out. We hope you enjoyed the event. And awesome job to our winner, Nalima, who's going to get her $100 pretty much cash. Okay. And then she's going to get her bragging rights. She's going to get her Colaberry badge. And we'll know she's going to end up getting placed really, really soon, okay? Because she's been through the program. You see what the finished result looks like, and she did her thing. So I want to congratulate her, but I want to also thank the judges again for coming out. We appreciate you. We know your time is very valuable, right? Y'all making big money that all of us can only hope to achieve one day. So we know your time is precious, and we appreciate you coming by and spending this hour and a half with us. And so thank you very much. We're gonna end it out with some music, and we'll see you guys next time.
Feeling it right, feeling just put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? Tell me what you're trying to do. 24-karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24-karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out.
Y'all still here? Go home. I know y'all want to be here all night. You know, we kicked off a fire-ass event. I get it. But y'all got to go home now, okay? Go home. We are done. Catch us next month, okay? We're going to have another Data Talent Showcase for you. It's going to be popping and all of that.